Hi guys, today we will learn about Apache Cassandra. It is basically a NoSQL database. हम जब database बनाते हैं तो दो तरीके के रहते हैं, एक SQL database, एक NoSQL database. So NoSQL database basically refers to the not relational database, and normally the SQL database are relational database in which we provide primary key, foreign key for the integrity constraint. But in NoSQL database we don't provide this much. So first we understand what is databases. The collection of tables is called a database. We'll store large amount of data in the database. Like it is termed as a digital filing system. Like a library में बुक्स रखी रहती है, ये सब रहता है. और हमें इसकी ज़रूरत क्यों पड़ी है? क्योंकि हम देख रहे हैं सोशल मीडिया पे नाउ बिग प्लेटफॉर्म लाइक इंस्टाग्राम, फेसबुक generates tremendous amount of data day by day, and it is increasing at very steady rate. So we need some tools to store this data. That's why we are using this Apache Cassandra. Now what is NoSQL? It's not only SQL, a different approach to storing data. It's more flexible. We don't need any relation between the tables. We use it independently. There is no fixed structure inside it that this table should be present. We will talk about the normalization in the SQL tables 1NF, 2NF. In this database, NoSQL database, there is no need of normalization. It can handle big amount of data, like which is growing day by day. So handling big data is a big advantage for storing this type of data. Okay, now we will learn about types of NoSQL databases. There are majorly four types of NoSQL databases. First is document database, like we have heard about MongoDB. In this MongoDB we store data in the form of object or documents in the curly brackets, and we term it as a collection. In key value databases we use pairs of key in like a dictionary, and the example of these is Redis. In the column family databases, the organized data in columns instead of rows. In the databases we store data in columns, but in this type of Cassandra, which are the topic, in this we use column family database, which is used to store the data in the form of columns. Another type is graph database. The graph database shows relationship between the data points, and the example of it is New4j. Now what is Apache Cassandra? Apache Cassandra is a NoSQL database which handles huge amount of data across many servers. Basically it is a distributed server. The data is distributed across the nodes. तो अगर एक नोड फेल भी हो जाती है तो दूसरी नोड पे इम्पैक्ट नहीं आएगा. तो बेसिकली टैगलाइन इज वेरी इंट्यूटिव दैट built to never sleep, always available, and it is very reliable. There is no single point of failure. And in the previous slide we have talked about the types of NoSQL database. So it is a column family database, works across multiple locations, and the use cases are Netflix, Apple, Instagram, and many social media platforms. So what is the story behind it? The first, if we see any major platform, social media platform like Facebook is a very early in early stages. The data is generating very vast amount. So Facebook came with the idea that we need a stable software so that we can generate, we can store this vast amount of data in a single place. So in 2007 they created a in their inbox search feature, they created this Apache Cassandra to store the inbox feature. Like in 2008 it becomes an open source, so everyone can use it. In 2009 the Apache project, so that it becomes the Apache Software Foundation, and today we are seeing that it is used globally, like in Netflix, Amazon, Google Big Tables, and many more. So why was it is created? There are some advantage of it. It handles massive scale of data, manage billions of users and the data efficiently, never go down. It is reliable, and there is no single point of failure, available 24/7, spread across the world. It is distributed data network, so the nodes are replicated and distributed across the nodes. Write data super fast. The latency for read writes are very low, so the updates are very frequent. The key features of Cassandra are the distributed system. Data is spread across many computers, making it super reliable. It is very reliable and fast, easy to scale. Now if we have designed a data to manage today need, but we have to assume that this data is going to increase day by day. So we also have to measure the future concurrency. It's always available. Even if the servers are fail, like we discussed in previous slide, that it's a no single point of failure. If some nodes fail, there is a duplicacy in the data, so we can get our data from another node. Lightning fast rate, it is very low latency for read and write, so it is lightning fast, the updates are very frequent. Multi-region support, we store the copies of data in different countries, like some data in India, some data in Japan, some data in USA, so that reliability factor become very high. Flexible schema, we can change our data structure to without breaking existing application, we can change it frequently, it's very flexible. So how this architecture works? Basically it's a ring structure. If we have seen a ring topology in which the nodes are connected in the form of rings, so all nodes are equal. If one node fails, we can get data from the another because it is in the form of rings. The second is data distribution. Data is splits and spread across multiple nodes. The replication factor, in Hadoop we learn about the replication factor. So replication factor is the factor in which the data is divided into multiple copies. So if the replication factor is 3, so the 3 copies of data is stored across the distributed nodes. Any node can help means if any node fails, so other node can help. Understanding data storage. The data is stored. So how the data is stored in the Apache Cassandra? The key space, like a database folder in which the database folder is created and that the table is actually stored in it. Partition key, the partition key is very important, it determines which node stores the data, like the data is spread across the nodes, so which node stores which data is determined by this partition key. The columns, individual pieces of information, तो इस कॉलम में क्या होता है कि individual pieces of information is stored in the form of columns. Previously we have read about types of NoSQL database in which we learn about that this Apache Cassandra is column family database. So in column family we store data in the form of columns. So here in the columns individual pieces of information are stored. Handling failure smartly. Multiple copies, we know the replication factor, it is the copy of the replication, multiple copies of data is stored according to the replication factor. Automatic detection of failed node, we can detect the which nodes get failed or something, like in Hadoop we have a heart rate, so we get to know that which node get failed. Redirect request to healthy nodes, in the which are the nodes which are alive, we can extract the data from that. Self-healing, which is basically about the recovery of the data, and we discussed that no single point of failure. So the Apache Cassandra powering the modern application scale. Now we see some application of it. So what is Apache Cassandra and how it matters? The Apache Cassandra is highly scalable, distributed NoSQL database designed to handle enormous volumes of data across multiple servers. It is we have discussed it is a distributed network. So like it is used by Amazon Dynamo and Google Big Table data models. Core capabilities are handling petabytes of data effortlessly, provides continuous availability, offers linear scalability, ensure fault tolerance automatically. So why it matters? Now we see some application why it matters. Now real world success, what is the success behind it? The Netflix global streaming, in Netflix we show that the content is very huge, and we can see that they are supporting 230 million subscribers across 190 countries. So the streaming access should be very smooth so that the viewer get enjoyment and get entertainment in a very good manner. So it's a performance at scale. Netflix manages personal recommendations viewing history, like we see in that many Netflix in which we are seeing some episodes, so in series, so it's a personal recommendation that this series might also enjoyable to you and vice versa. So always available. We cannot see that Netflix server is down or something. It's the uptime rate is 99.9% is uptime rate of Netflix because of this Apache Cassandra distributed architecture. Now we see that Instagram handles billions of photos. We now see that reels, we scroll the reels, photos. It's a very huge amount of data, 2 billion plus daily active users, so it's very huge in numbers, 95 million photos per day and 500 nodes running across clusters. It's very huge number, 95 million photos per day. So the photos they process across 95 million photos and videos shared daily across the globe. In Uber, we see that it's a taxi service. So it's where Uber relies on Cassandra to manage critical trip data and traffic management. So this route is very traffic and इस रूट पे बहुत ज़्यादा ट्रैफिक है, तो हम दूसरे रूट प्रिफर करते हैं कि हम दूसरे रूट से चले जाते हैं, सो वी सेव आवर टाइम, सो इट्स ऑल्सो सेव्स द टाइम. So the key use cases are trip storage, historical and active ride data. The data इफेक्टिव तो हम राइड जो करते हैं उसका डेटा जो स्टोर होता है, लोकेशन ट्रैकिंग, द रियल टाइम ड्राइवर कहाँ पे वो पहुंचा है हम उसको कॉल कर सकते हैं, सब ये सब डेटा कसांद्रा में स्टोर होता है. यूजर प्रोफाइल कि यूजर अगर जो टैक्सी ड्राइवर उसकी प्रोफाइल होगी और अगर हम यूजर है हम यूज कर रहे हैं तो हमारी प्रोफाइल भी उधर स्टोर होगी. सर्च प्राइसिंग, द प्राइसिंग इट्स बेसिकली बेस्ड ऑन द किलोमीटर्स वी ट्रेवल. सो search pricing is also, these are the algorithm which we run on the data. The data is stored again on Apache Cassandra because it's a very huge data. बहुत ज़्यादा बड़े डेटा पे हमको एल्गोरिदम लगानी पड़ती है ताकि हम प्राइसिंग के बारे में भी इफेक्टिवली प्राइसिंग कर सकें. So the Cassandra's low latency rights ensure that Uber can process location updates from millions of drivers instantaneously. Okay. So what is the difference between traditional RDBMS and Cassandra? In traditional databases we follow the concept of normalization, 1NF, 2NF, 3NF. In Cassandra there is no point of normalization. It's a linear horizontal scalability, it is vertical scaling limitations. So there is no single point of failure, but it suffers from bottleneck. The traditional database suffers from bottleneck. It handles massive read-write throughput, write performance constant. A multi-data center application in this complex application setup. It is flexible, it is not much flexible. So when to use Cassandra and when to choose RDBMS. So when we want to store massive amounts of data, we prefer Cassandra, and when we perform complex join and transaction related things, we prefer RDBMS. So integration ecosystem. How do we integrate Cassandra inside the Apache Hadoop for big data analytics, data storage? So Cassandra stores massive amount of data, integration layer, and then batch processing, and then actionable insights. This powerful combination allows us to do big data. तो हम लोग ये big data analytics जो करते हैं, Power BI ये सब होता है, तो हमको बहुत vast amount of data चाहिए रहता है. तो हम अगली स्लाइड में वही देखने वाले हैं कि हम स्टोर तो कर रहे हैं Cassandra पे, बट हमें इनके साथ Apache स्पार्क भी चाहिए, काफका भी चाहिए, हडूप, ये सब चाहिए ताकि हम एफिशिएंटली बिग डेटा एनालिटिक्स परफॉर्म कर सकें. सो अपाचे काफका क्या करता है कि स्ट्रीमिंग फास्ट करता है. अपाचे स्पार्क जो रहता है वो प्रोसेस करता है रियल टाइम डेटा को. Cassandra स्टोरेज के लिए यूज होता है और यूजर एप्लीकेशन इन सब का कॉम्बिनेशन यूज कर पाता है. सो यूज केसेस आर फ्रॉड डिटेक्शन इन फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज, रियल टाइम रिकमेंडेशन इंजन, IoT सेंसर डेटा एंड एनालिटिक्स फील्ड. So the best practices are data modeling, capacity planning जो हम अगर अभी यूज कर रहे हैं, तो in today's world we are assuming that the data is true, but it is growing day by day. तो we have to design architecture, and हमको फ्यूचर के बारे में सोचना पड़ता है कि हम ऐसा आर्किटेक्चर डिजाइन करें जो फ्यूचर में भी काम आ सके. रेप्लिकेशन स्ट्रेटेजी लाइक रेप्लिकेशन फैक्टर 3, तो 3 फैक्टर है अगर रेप्लिकेशन फैक्टर, तो 3 कॉपीज ऑफ डेटा स्टोर होगा ताकि वो रिलायबल हो सके. ये सब चीजें सिक्योरिटी हम कर सकते हैं, ऑथेंटिकेशन ऑथराइजेशन अपना जो डेटा है वो सिक्योर है तो कोई दूसरा एक्सेस ना कर पाए. मॉनिटरिंग सेटअप ऑप्स डेवऑप्स में यूज होता है, ग्राफना ये सब सॉफ्टवेयर यूज करते हैं. द प्रो टिप इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट स्टार्ट विद द स्मॉल क्लस्टर, स्केल हॉरिजॉन्टली एज योर डेटा ग्रोस. Cassandra makes easy to add nodes without downtime. We have seen that 99% uptake in Netflix, so it's very important. Now the key takeaways. So हमने क्या सीखा ये Cassandra से? तो वैसे बीटेक में ऐसा 3rd 4th ईयर में हमको प्रोजेक्ट बनाना पड़ता है, तो डेटाबेस इज वेरी की टू द प्रोजेक्ट. तो डेटाबेस बहुत ज़्यादा यूज होता है. तो Cassandra हम यूज कब कर सकते हैं? अगर हमको मैसिव स्केल ऑफ डेटा यूज करना है, हमको अवेलेबिलिटी हाई करना है, रिलायबल होना चाहिए, और रीड राइट है, अगर हम बहुत ज़्यादा बार रीड राइट कर रहे हैं तो अपडेट्स बहुत फ्रीक्वेंट है, तो हम ये यूज कर सकते हैं. ग्लोबल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन इज डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड ग्लोबली अक्रॉस कंट्रीज, सो देयर इज नो पॉइंट ऑफ फेलियर. ओके, थैंक यू.